So Julian, let's talk a little bit about groupies.
Now, contrary to what we've been told in our interviews over the last few weeks with some of metal's most accomplished bands, Between the Buried and Me and Periphery to name but a few, groupies are a prevalent phenomenon in metal subculture. Jake and Tommy might have said differently, but we know girls love to throw themselves at guys who are good with their hands. Groupies are out there. They're in force, and we're pretty sure they're behind the STDs that led to Dimebag Darrell's tragic and early demise.
However, we know that women are loath to be labelled as sluts, although this might be hard to swallow if you've ever been to Billboards on a Tuesday night.
and the words billboards and hard to swallow should never be uttered in the same sentence.
Which begs the question, how do we get them to divulge their sexploits?
Now, in answer to this, we hacked into the All Hope Is Gone support line earlier this week, where, posing as counsellors, we did what we do best. Took advantage of vulnerable women for our own satisfaction and entertainment, eliciting their juiciest groupie experiences.
Obviously, for the sake of protecting their anonymity, we can't use their real names, so we've used a random name generator to assign them suitable pseudonyms. Our first caller was a lovely woman by the name of
Jess and Jem,
who had quite a tale to tell about her evening with our main man, Corey Taylor. We pick up the conversation from when she started to loosen up.
So, Jess and Jem, tell us what happened.
Well, there I was seeing Slipknot, totally psyched. They had just played Spit It Out, the song I lost my virginity to, when the moment that every maggot dreams of happened. Corey made eye contact. He pointed me out and whispered something to a bouncer, and I knew something exciting was going down. He pulled me out of the pit and said I'd been invited backstage. So after they closed the show with the fan rally, people equal shit, I was escorted backstage where I finally met Corey.
I can imagine this was all pretty overwhelming.
Yeah, it was a little bit scary. Corey wanted me to come back through his room for a nightcap. I was a bit unsure, but he was pretty persuasive.
What did he say to you?
I can't remember exactly, but it was something like,
"Hey! Quit fooling yourself. You know you're going to be there."
And when my wariness eased, he started using reverse psychology.
"Don't come. You know you can't handle it. Don't come. Don't handle it. You can't do it. You can't even handle it. Don't come. Don't come to our show. Don't come to our show."
Oh, what happened next?
Well, we were actually having a pretty good time, and things escalated. One thing led to another, but Corey was quite the gentleman.
He wasn't rough or aggressive at all? He seems to be rather the angry type.
No, not at all. He was very caring and tender. I actually had an amazing time.
Well, that sounds just fine, but how can we help you today?
Well, that's when the other 8 guys came in.
Oh my.
Have you ever listened to the song Me Inside 9 times in a row? It was a bit like that, and about as pleasant.
Go on.
I don't really know what to say, but I think Clown needs to learn when it's inappropriate to bring out the baseball bat, and Corey's sex grunts became far less charming.
Anything else?
It was pretty disturbing when they started climaxing simultaneously.
Slipknot's coming. Slipknot's coming. Slipknot is coming.
And the worst part was, when they were finished, Corey didn't even give me his phone number. He only had one word for me.
At this point in the conversation, we referred her to Fred Durst, who was actually a trained musical psychologist. We were confident his way with words and his musical talents would be far more beneficial to Jess and Jem than any advice we had to offer.
Never mind.
Our next caller was a girl who shall be henceforth referred to as Yaz, whose encounter with ex-Gorgoroth frontman Garl left her scarred, and she still feels the pain, even years later.
Well, this is going back a few years. I've been sitting on this for a while, but I really feel I need to tell someone about it.
That's what we're here for.
Yaz.
This is no laughing matter.
Well, it was 2005. I was at a Gorgoroth gig just enjoying the show. I was standing beside a pile of sheep heads when Gull noticed me and said he was entranced by the way the hellfire of the flaying cross on stage was reflected in my eyes.
You'd be surprised how many calls we actually get that start like that.
So he motioned for me to come backstage. I'd heard some stories, but I was up for anything. Will to power.
Please continue.
His room was totally decked out. Chains, spikes, whips, the works. I don't mind it rough, but as a general rule, if anyone's bleeding, I'd call it a night. So anyway, we sat down on the bed and got talking. And talking. And we kept talking. I got a little impatient and tried to make a move, but he was reluctant. He said he just needed someone to talk to.
Interesting.
Well, after a while, he asked me if I knew what pegging was. I was a little put off by the idea, but I wasn't going to turn down an opportunity to be with the great Garl, so we got to it. Things still weren't right, though. He said it just wasn't the same, whatever that meant.
Well, okay, so you pegged a legend. That doesn't sound like too bad an experience.
Yeah, but after that, things took a turn for the worse. He was visibly frustrated and said to me,
"We're not through yet."
Hold up there.
Yaz.
Not to cut you off, but we're going to transfer you to a specialist in these matters. Stay on the line. Mr. Devon Townsend has some words for you.
Our final caller was an adventurous lass, which our random name generator is telling us to refer to as
Emma.
Now, Emma was a big Megadeth fan, and during the 2007 Gigantour, she had a chance to meet a lifelong crush, Dave Mustaine himself. We pick up the story backstage.
So security tried to stop me. They couldn't handle.
Emma.
I'm a pretty big girl after all. And I ate to the snack area, and there was Dave, on his knees and deep in prayer. I told him I'd been a bad girl, and that it was time for my confession, so I begged him to fill me with the Holy Spirit. I knew Dave was a born-again Christian, so he was initially reluctant, but I can be quite persuasive when I need to be. There's a lot of weight behind my words, if you know what I mean. So back to his room we went.
A common theme to these types of experiences. Go on.
However, once we closed the door, things took a strange turn. He got this angry look on his face, and he demanded that I wear a mask. It seemed to be a pretty old mask, but the face kind of looked familiar. I don't know where I'd seen it before, but the young man's face definitely rang a bell.
Now, this is interesting. We've had experiences shared with us where the men like to wear masks, but never the groupies. Go on.
So he flipped me over and took me from behind, telling me, "Let me show you why I wrote bullprick." He was rough, angry, and throughout the whole ordeal he kept shouting, "Take it, Lars, fucking take it, you Dutch bitch. Even Meg White's a better drummer than you."
Yeah, interesting that he'd bring up Lars. We hear that Lars has had sex with over 2.5 million groupies. You do the math.
The worst part was when he started singing. Over and over again. He just wouldn't stop.
Oh my.
And then when he finished up, he completely broke down and started talking to me as if I was Lars himself.
It's been hard, Lars. It's been hard to watch everything that you guys do and you touch turn to gold, and everything I do fucking backfire. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that they would consider my backfire a complete success. You know, and am I happy being number 2? No. I've been waiting for this day for a long time. You know, and by no means is it done because somebody else very important is not here.
Once again, we found ourselves way out of our depth as we were confronted with yet another harrowing tale. We forwarded
Emma
to our resident psychiatrist.
Dr. Chopper prescribes you harden the fuck up.